Best-selling books of all time. Da Vinci Code, Harry Potter, and right near the top is 50 Shades of Grey. Shocking, right? So
what a surprise.
Yeah, like, to the point, smut.
Wait, is the Bible not counted in that list?
I think it excludes the Bible simply because it's a religious text.
Fine.
But you need to understand the power of language and conversation, because like you said early on, like the meatball between your ears, the meatball between a woman's ears is her most important sex organ, leading up to the event of intimacy. So don't discount it. I mean, they dig it. Trust me. I mean, you look at the book sales; the numbers are right there. There is no lie. I wish we could.
I get you get a lot of guys who will sort of message me and write me in and be like, "I don't know if I can be that dominant guy. I don't know if I can."
You absolutely can.
If I could, ever do that kind of stuff, or I'll get guys who are like, who might think my wife wouldn't like that. My girlfriend is too pure and too innocent and too much of a princess. She wouldn't like that. Look, if she has ever read any kind of romance novel, I guarantee you she has some degree of perverted thoughts going on in her head. Like, men are way more like horny and want sex all the time. Women are more perverted. So the things that they want out of sex tend to be a lot darker and more twisted than what most dudes are into, or what most dudes fantasize about, at least.
I don't know if you remember this, but I put that in my book. There was a study done, I think, by Google engineers on search engine habits, and the top search results for women looking for kink, into the dirty talk sort of area, I think was vampires, werewolves, pirates, surgeons, and billionaires. Powerful men that can do interesting things with great reach, yield, and influence. So
and dangerous men too.
Dangerous, yeah. Dangerous. Women love a dangerous guy that can be civilized. They want to feel safe, but they want to know that you're dangerous at the same time. So you have to have some dirty side to it.
I take that a step further, and I say all the time that, like, demonstrating the capacity. I'll emphasize that the capacity for violence actually demonstrates that you can keep her safe and you can protect her.
Correct.
Because there's a big difference between being peaceful and being harmless. Those are two different things.
Yeah, this is a Jordan Peterson thing.
Peaceful. Yeah, like a dude who's peaceful can actually is withholding his ability for violence. He has the ability for violence, but he's not using it. A dude who's harmless can't even conjure up violence if he wanted to. And so when we're tapping into these things, like being more dominant in the bedroom, being more commanding with our language, telling her what to do in the bedroom, for example, we're tapping into that more dominant part of the masculine sexual energy, which is what she resonates with. That's what she's looking for, because it demonstrates you have that more dangerous side, which is the capacity to protect her and keep her safe eventually, and her kids can, after the fact, once you impregnate her with your seed.
Given that the podcast is called the Unplugged Alpha and it's based on the book, why do you think it is that so many men are plugged into the notion of just being the good guy and being respectful and, not being the dirty talker, whereas some other guy, right around the corner, Kevin from sales or Steve from accounting, whispers in her ear one day by the vending machine when there's nobody in the lunchroom? Why do you think those guys get it and the average Joe doesn't?
Because the average Joe has been indoctrinated with Hallmark movies. The average Joe has watched too many fucking... Sorry to swear on your show again, Ron. Too many rom-coms and too many goddamn romantic comedies. Like, even what was that one with Will Smith? Was it called Hitch?
Hitch, that was it.
Where he was like the dating coach and the fat dude was just simping over like whatever her name was, and then I'm like, that's a perfect example of this retarded narrative of like, if I'm just a nice guy long enough, if I just treat her like a princess, then eventually she'll come around. No, she won't. She'll completely ignore you at best, or she'll take advantage of you and use you for your time and your resources, and she'll shack up with like you said, Joe from accounting or whatever.
Steve's from accounting. Kevin's from sales.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. I don't work a corporate job.
It's been a while for you. Did you ever work a corporate job, by the way?
I worked a lab job.
A lab job, like in a
Yeah.
laboratory.
Yeah, I used to be. I was an industrial chemist for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to work in a lab, and
You kind of still are now. Now you're just an industrial chemist on the side, the side with the, with the brain chemistry.
Sure, I don't see how you made that connection, but okay.
Oh, bro, I can connect anything, man. I know how the dots work. Let me just see if we got anything here in the chat that I might have missed out on, because I know you got to run in like 15 minutes, right?
I can go to like 9 o'clock.
Okay. I'm gonna drop the call-in link for you guys as well tonight too. So if there's anybody that has questions on Q&A,
nice.
We'll be able to take some of that as well. Stocky one.
Well, while you have a look at that, I'll plug a few more things about my course while you're looking for that. So I've snuck a few things into this course that most guys probably wouldn't expect in a course on dirty talking. So obviously I talk about how to dirty talk. I talk about how to improve your delivery. I talk about how to get a deeper voice. I talk about a few different frameworks that you can use for creating your own ideas for dirty talk, as well as stealing verbatim like my own lines that I use in the bedroom all the time. But there's also a couple of things in here which you might not expect, and that is dirty talk is one, it's a tool for amping up a woman's arousal in the bedroom. Obviously, most people understand that. But it's also a tool for improving your own self-esteem and your own confidence in the bedroom, because your language dictates your belief system. And if you can, affirmations are a great example of that. And most people would probably be familiar with the idea of affirmations. But if you're in the bedroom and you're saying these more perverted or dominant or commanding things to a woman, that subtly over time starts to reinforce this self-belief that you are that more dominant, quote unquote, alpha kind of guy. And I think that's a lot of dudes come to me with this question of like, how do I be more confident in the bedroom? And this is exactly how, in my opinion, this is probably the fastest way to do that, is to start playing around with this kind of language, which puts you in charge, puts you in the lead, in control of the sexual situation, and she follows and does what daddy tells her to. And then the other thing I suddenly snuck into this course is that, or the third thing that dirty talk can do for you is reinforce and establish good frames in your relationship dynamic with a woman. So, as an example, one of the things I show in this course is me commanding, telling this in this demo clip. I tell this girl, "You wouldn't dare come without my permission. Now, would you?" And she says, "No, of course not." The subtle frame I've just established there is that she does what I tell her to, and then I go on to say something like, "That's right, because this pussy belongs to me," and that is another little subtle frame that I own her, and I own her sexually. I own her pussy, and so if you backwards rational, or start from where you want to be, like what kind of woman do you want to be in a relationship with, and work backwards, like what qualities would she have? Well, doing what you tell her to and being sexually exclusive to you would be pretty high up on that list, I would imagine, for most men. And dirty talk is a really, really subtle and fun for both you and her way to subtly embed these ideas and these frames into her subconscious. And so dirty talk is a lot more powerful than most guys realize.
To Moff's point here, how much of this is a journey? Like, is there a storyline, an arc that you bring?
I will describe like future scenarios to her. I'll tap into her imagination and get her to imagine. So, say, for example, if I have some perverted, twisted fantasy that I want her to indulge with me, I will preface that on, date 2 or 3 and start subtly dripping it into her head so that we will do it later on. A good example of that would be, I like girls who are bisexual, who I can have a threesome with, right? So I will subtly tell this, maybe not so subtly, but I'll whisper in her ear something like, "Imagine if I had you tied up in that corner and you were watching me with another woman. How turned on would that make you?" And I'm saying this while I'm having sex with her. So I'm painting this future picture of and I'm eroticizing the idea of her getting off watching me with another woman and then her joining in with that. So I can.
Has that ever turned a straight woman bi for you?
I wouldn't say it's. I think every woman is basically kind of bi. There's very few women that are like 100% straight, in my opinion. They're either like, when dudes think they're looking for like a bisexual chick, they think they're looking for a woman who actually has dated like chicks before.
Mhm.
And then that's actually a small subset of women. Then there's a tiny subset who are purely straight, and then there's everybody else in between who's like flexible. Or is at least willing to share your penis with another woman. And I'm totally happy with that extent of bisexuality. If that's all she wants to do, then that is totally fine by me, because I get 2 vaginas.
Right. And I mean, like, generally speaking, most women are receptive to this. I mean, if they have genuine desire for you, it's highly. I mean, you could pull a librarian with the hair bun and the librarian glasses with a little vest out of the library and think that she's a prude, but she's a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's widely regarded, I think, by most guys, with any level of experience, that almost all women are receptive to it if it's delivered timely and at the right degree. I mean, timely is the biggest part of it all, right? And you talk about the when to deliver it and how to in that course. I mean, I saw a few elements in it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when it comes to delivery, like I talk about inflection and keeping your tone at like a neutral or rapport breaking inflection when you're delivering it. No, you don't want to go in there and be like, "How you doing?" Like when you're delivering your show, you don't want to turn to Mickey Mouse, obviously. But that is one thing. Obviously, a deeper vocal tone always helps. I personally do a lot of whispering stuff, but occasionally I'll mix it up, and occasionally I'll be more kind of commanding and like delivering lines at a regular vocal tone, or even shouting them. She thinks Sterling's into it. Oh,
let's do this. Let's drop the join link for Charles and his wife, or let's just say for the wife. So Charles, there's a join link for your wife. She can have a word with Sterling right now. Do you have a response for Mr. Hamill's wife?
She hasn't really elaborated why I'm an idiot.
Why do you think?
I don't really know. Look, maybe she doesn't like the idea of me telling her husband that he might be able to have another woman in the bedroom with him.
Aha!
It's entirely possible that might have set her off.
That could be it.